Hello guys, welcome to a new video. And if you want to create mockups like this, then you need to stay and watch the whole video because I will show you a walkthrough of how this product, which is a Photoshop script, will help you to create mockups like this. And in this case, we're seeing phone cases, but this product can be anything that you are selling. Could be, bed sheets, could be phone cases, t-shirts, hoodies, anything that has a smart object layer, for example, a mockup, and all you need is Photoshop to run this script. So let me introduce you to Lazy Mockups, which is basically a print-on-demand mockups creation kit to help you batch, replace, and export Photoshop mockups in bulk, fast, easy, and automated. This is basically, as I just said, a Photoshop script. And here on the right side, you can see an example of how the script looks like when you open it, the window dialog. So let's get right into it. I will show you first of all what this is, and then I will show you an example right into Photoshop right away. So this is what the variants script will help you with, which basically is the following. When you have multiple smart object layers within a single Photoshop file and you want to use different images within different smart objects or mockups within the same file. So as I mentioned here, the variants script, which is one of the scripts that I will be explaining to you how to use. This one is used when the Photoshop file requires different images to be used across all mockups or smart objects within it. As I mentioned, if you have different smart objects within the same Photoshop file and you want to use different images inside the same file, you need to use this script. This script will process all images selected in all target Photoshop documents. So for instance, if you want to use image 1 in mockup 1, image 2 in mockup 2, etc. As I mentioned here. One image here, one image here, one image here, different images. This is example, one single Photoshop file, and then you have image A, image B, image C. And here I show you how this one is image A, this one is image B, and this one is image C. And in this diagram, I am basically trying to explain to you how this works from a logical standpoint, if I can say it that way, so that when you run the script, and I will show you how it works, how it looks like in the folders, it will process all your images. All the images that you select. It will process them across all the Photoshop files you have. So for instance, if you have different Photoshop files and each Photoshop file has different smart object layers, it will process all of them within all the smart object layers as long as the amount of images fit within the smart object layers, which means that if you have in a folder 5 images and in one file you have only 3 smart objects, just the first 3 images are going to be used. The other 2 will not be used because they cannot be placed inside this file, right? If the other Photoshop file only has one smart object layer, just one image will be used, which will be in order. In this case will be the first one, and so on and so forth. That's what the variants script does. If you have any questions, of course, leave me a comment down below under this YouTube video, or if you're inside my community, send me a message or an email. You should be able to reach out to me in an email, also in the description or in the Discord. Now, this is the singles script. What does it do? Basically, this one is used when the Photoshop file requires only one image to be used across all the mockups or smart objects. It will process one image at a time through all the Photoshop documents. For example, image 1 in mockup 1, 2, and 3. So in this case, I'm showing two images, but here is an example, assuming that you have, two Photoshop files, and both files are, for example, different angles of the same product, but you need to show the same design. So for example, let's say I have an example here. Let's say you have two phone cases in this case, which are different. One is a tough case, and this one is a slim case, as you can see over here. But I wanted to show the same design across both smart objects, but both smart objects are within the same Photoshop file. So in difference to the variance script, where we have different smart objects, but you want to show different designs, here you want to show the same design across all the smart objects, because in difference from the other one, you want to offer different designs or to showcase different designs, and here you just want to show the same design across different products, for example, or within the same or across the same product in different views. So here would be one Photoshop file with two smart objects, but as you can see, both smart objects are using the same image. And here is the same example, with the other image, two smart objects, but different image. So the logic in the folders for this singles script is as follows. It will take the same image, it will take image by image, and it will process each image across all the Photoshop files. So it will process image 1 across Photoshop file 1, 2, and 3. And if one Photoshop file contains two smart objects, it will replace all the smart objects within this file with the same image. If this one has 5 smart objects, let's say you have an Etsy listing where you show 5 type of products, let's say a t-shirt, a hoodie, and a long sleeved shirt, and you want to show the same design across all the products, it will place this image across all the 5 different objects or smart objects or mockups, how you want to call it. And if this one just has one, it will just put just one. And the same thing will do with this and with this. So in difference from the variance script, it will process all the images within all the Photoshop files. I'm sorry guys if I am repeating myself here, but I'm just trying to get the point across, drive it home. And I think I was trying to summarize this the best way as possible. I know it can be a bit confusing, and I will be probably creating a new video explaining this further, but in the meantime, bear with me here, and as I said, ask me any questions below, or in an email, or in the Discord community, which is also in the description. So let's get right into Photoshop. Okay. Okay guys, as you can see, we are right now inside one of my Photoshop files. This is for phone cases, and I will show you the setup of how this looks. You may see all of these layers and find it complicated, but actually it's super simple. I, of course, edited the background and so on and so forth, but these mockups, I bought them from a vendor of mockups online, and all I did was replace the name of the smart object layer. So the only thing that you need to do in order to work with my Photoshop script is you need to name the layer. So for example, you need to use a smart underscore object, and then this one works for the first image to be placed in the document. Then you need to put a smart object 2 for where you want the second image to be placed, and then the same thing 3 for the third image. And if you have 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, I don't know, 50 images in the same document, which I don't recommend to do that, but if you have to, you just keep naming them, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, etc., etc., etc. You get the point. And this is how it looks like. And I will show you the whole process now, but so that you can see it live, let me show you how this listing number one, listing number two, as you can see, this is empty. And as you can see that here I have a smart object one. If you name it one or without the one and just leave it like this, it will always be processed as number one. So no matter if it says smart object or smart object one. And here I wanted to show in this listing the design A, which is number one. Here design B and here design C. Why I created this script? Because on multiple occasions I wanted to batch process multiple designs within the same listing as different variants, and I wanted to automatically be able to automate this process where the script automatically places different designs into different images, right? So that's how I managed to do this. And since I have different images for the listings, I can choose which image is placed on which listing. So I can show, for example, on this view image number one, and then one A, B, and C designs. And then here I want to show, I don't know, maybe the second design or things like that. So let's first process this for the variant script. So all you have to do, let me pause the video 1 second. All you have to do right now is to go to File. So in order to process this variant script, and before we do that, let me delete this so that it's clean, So in order to process all the images using the variance script, okay guys, so now I will show you how you need to have the folder set up for you to process the images inside your Photoshop files or Photoshop documents using my Photoshop script. This folder setup that you need, these are just the scripts that you will receive as files, and this is just some images that I did for this tutorial, but in reality all you need is 3 files. One, or you have the Photoshop documents that you're gonna process, one folder where you have the images that you want to process, and then an export folder where you want to export the images that you save. So let me show you how this works. I'm gonna come to File, then Scripts, then Browse, and then I will show you how you can, save this script inside your Photoshop document and file so that you don't have to load it this way and you can load it faster. And then I go to the folder that I showed you, and I'm gonna load the script called Lazy Mockup Variants. Then you will gonna see this window, and this is super simple and straightforward. Here you're gonna choose the Photoshop folder where you have all the Photoshop documents. It will process all the Photoshop documents that it finds. So here you can see 2 folders, but as I show you here, the Photoshop files are here outside. So even though they are not appearing here, they are here in this folder. If I select any of these folders, it will process the Photoshop files inside these folders, but I don't want to do that. I want to process the files that are inside this folder, so they are here. I click OK. Then I want to select the source images folder, so where the images are located. I come here to my main root folder and I click on images, and I want to process the images of animals, which I showed you here. Animals, 3 images. I select animals, and then where do I want to export the images? I want to export them here in the export folder that, as you can see here, it's completely empty. as I'm doing this live with you guys. Export folder is empty. Then this export organization, we can go in another video and explain this further, but it's super simple. Basically, this consists, if you want to have all the images grouped based on the design name. So in this case, the design name, let's say the collection is called animals. So it will create one folder based on the name of the folder of the images. So they will process either images or folders. If I select this folder and I have multiple folders here with subfolders and images, it will process all the subfolders with their images inside of it. But in this case, since we just have 3 images, it will just process these 3 images. And you will see what I mean by after I process this. And then I'm gonna click this. I'll explain to you why. Because my images are smaller than this canvas and I want them to be expanded automatically so that they completely fit all the size of this smart object. And if I click run script, let's see what happens. You will see how fast this goes. And actually it's good that I'm showing you this because I want to show you the other way around actually, but I'm gonna leave this uncut so that you can see the functionality live. As you can see, there are some white stripes being shown, and that's why I created that functionality, because in reality I want to choose cover full canvas, but I left it on touch one side. Let's see what happened. Export folder. So as you can see, the images have some white space. And why is that? Because as I explained before, these images are not the exact same size in pixel dimension as the smart object. If you have worked with smart objects before, you know that unless it really matches the exact dimension, size of where you're placing the image, it will not cover the whole mockup. So in this case, what happens is that I choose the option that basically enlarges the images up to the point where one side of the image touches the border, and then it will stop expanding it. And that's why these appear. This white is because the phone background is white. But you're gonna see, okay, but anyways, you see how fast it did it. Remember? Let's see. Let's close this. Then I will save this actually in a folder. Let's save this white border. Actually, let's just name it as the functionality, which is touch one side. Later on, I may be updating this script and changing the name of it, of the functionality, but let's do it again. And this time, scripts, browse. This time, again, variants, guys. And this time, I will be choosing this folder, source images, root folder, images, animals. And then where do I want to save it? Browse, root folder, export folder. I'm gonna leave it here. And this is fine. This is okay. I'm gonna choose cover full canvas, and you will see that now the images will be. Let's see what happens. It should be running. Okay, it's working. If you can see here in the outside, you will see that it's you see how it's automatically, let's refresh so that you know it's live. I'm clicking this. You see how the other images are appearing. You see that now it covers the full image, the full canvas, because it expanded the image in such a way that it didn't care if it expanded the image long enough to cut one of the sides, because one of the sides ended up being cut, but it covered the full area. You see how different it is? You see how fast it was? Image 1, image 2, image 3, see image 1, then design A, design A, design B, design B, the left, design C, design C. And the order is based on this. So basically the order consists on the alphabetical order that the images are named after, if I can say it that way. So if you want to change the order of the images or the way they are being processed, because remember in the Photoshop file we have, let me open it again. We have different layers. Let's say smart object, or it can say smart object 1. This will be image 1, image 2, and image 3. So if you want to change which image goes in the 1, in the 2, and the 3, you have to change the order of the naming convention you're using, so that it matches the order you want to be using in the files. So guys, this is how the variants script work. Again, I know this may be a little bit confusing. Hopefully it's not. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. I may not be the best at explaining this super simple. It all makes sense in my head, but I understand it may take a while to get a grasp of it, but hopefully it's easy to follow through. Now let's go with the singles script, and you will see what I mean, but it's super simple. And for the singles script, I will use a different mockup file, because the singles script requires that all the smart object layers, this is smart object layer, have the name just like this, smart object. It cannot have any underscore number next to it. I may be working on it in the future so that it processes it with the number, without the number, but for the time being, it requires that all the layers just remain like this, because also if you're using the other script, you are not using different images, so it doesn't make any sense to have other naming convention. But anyhow, let's open those files so you can see what we will be working with. They're here. Let me show you. I'm opening them. Let me close this one. So guys, I'm doing this live with you so that you can see the whole walkthrough and how simple and fast this is once you get the hang of it, and how much time and how many hours you will be saving just by using these scripts for your pre-on-demand store in Shopify, Etsy, I don't know, WooCommerce, Square, whichever platform you use that you create listing images. Okay, so here, as you can see, I have one design. You can disregard the fact that there are different designs in all of these different listing images, but what I want you to focus on is that there are different views, right? There are actually two products. One is the slim phone case and the other one is the tough phone case. But in this case, I wanted to show the same design across different products. So in this case, it was the same design on different type of phone cases, so that customers can choose which phone case they wanted with that specific design. Hopefully that makes sense. So in this case, we have this one with the hand, as you can see here. Let me see if I can find the smart object. You see a smart object like this without any numbers, and then here the same. Here I have it separated by 2. I have edited these listings a lot. Actually, if you guys would like me to maybe do a tutorial or something like that about creating listing images, I can also do that or work on that. I did this a while ago, but I enjoyed it a lot. I really like the end result. So yeah, here we have smart objects. Let me find them. As I said, there are many layers here, but it doesn't matter. What matters is just where the smart object is. Here, sorry. I even color coded it. I remember. Here's the same smart object. So as you can see, if I hide it, the design disappears. So you're going to see that the same design will be processed on all of those smart objects. So here there's also another smart object. Let me see if I can find it. I'm sure it's not this one. See if I can find it. It's not like it really matters, but okay, it's here. And here is the other one. So what you will see happen now is that all of those 3 images of animals that I have, right, we're gonna end up having probably 3 folders where each individual image, will be placed in all of these listing files. But you will see what I mean now. I will simply go to File, Scripts, Browse, and also you will see that the dialog looks a bit different, but it's pretty much the same. So here is the singles script, and I'm gonna click on select folder with Photoshop files. Remember, I'm gonna go to the root folder of Mockup tutorial. I missed the L here, tutorials. And then I'm gonna go to Photoshop files folder, and these ones are in solid here. These are the files I want to be using. So I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna choose solid in Photoshop files folder, solid. This is the folder where the Photoshop files are. Then I'm gonna click folder with images. Where are the images that I want to use? Again, animals. And then where to save the images, I want to choose export folder. And just for the sake of the example, I'm gonna create a new folder. I'm gonna create a singles script. So we know that this is where the exported images for the singles script files will be located. This is the same thing, just that these settings work slightly different because of the way the images are going to be processed. But here we're going to create different subfolders named after the original images. So what will happen is that we're going to see one subfolder named A, and it will have all of these listing images with that A design. And then we're going to have a B folder, because the other image is called B, with all of those listings with B design, and the same for C and the same for D. Even if we had 50 images, it will process 50 images the same way. And then you can play with this later, but this is just the way you want the images to be named after they're exported. I usually like it combined, which is image name plus the Photoshop file name. I'm going to lower the quality here actually to 6. You don't need more than that actually. The results are going to be just as fine. And then I'm going to click here, folder where I have the files, which is here. I'm going to choose the folder where I have the images that I want to use. So it's the same images folder for animals, and then the folder where I want to save the images. I created this export folder for scripts. Let's delete this so it's clean. Let's open the folder so you guys can see it's clean as well. Export folder, singles script. This is where we're going to save the singles script output. It's empty. Now let's reduce here the quality. and let's click OK. So as you guys can see, the script is processing all the document files with the images, and we can see it live actually here. So it is processing each image with each Photoshop file. So what it does is that it opens, for example, this mockup listing image in Photoshop, and then it processes image A, image B, image C, then closes it, and then processes second listing for all the images. If I come here, for example, to listing C for this animal, or listing A for the toucan, you can see I got all of this here. If I open Photoshop, it says that image export completed. And as you guys can see, everything is exported perfectly here. You know, I can open it. You can see all the images here, as you can see here, have the same design. And this is it, guys. I hope everything is clear. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. And yeah, you should see something here in the screen and also in the description, and probably in the pinned comment of the YouTube channel, of the YouTube video. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Thank you. And that's it, guys. If you want to access this script, all you have to do is visit lazymockups.com and you will be able to find it. Thank you.